Hello everyone, my name is Bahroo, and today I'm going to show you how to do the Eisendrache DLC Easter egg. I know you could say I'm a little bit late to the party, but the last Easter egg guide that I ended up doing was for Origins, and well, that was a year and a half late, so hey, whatever. Anyway, before we jump right into this Easter egg, I want to dispel a little bit of false information going around about how to start this Easter egg, and that is, number one, you only need one bow to actually start the Easter egg itself, and then the amount of bows that you're going to need from that point on is going to be based on whether or not you are in a ranked or a non-ranked game, regardless of how many players are in the match. So, if you have 2 players, 4 players, 3 players, it doesn't matter. If you are in a ranked game, you will need 2 bows. If you are in a solo game, you will need 1 bow. And if you are in a non-ranked game, you will need 4 bows. Now, if you upgrade a bow all the way, it will be required. But if you want to limit the amount of bows that you need to do, you simply just don't do the bow in a ranked game and you won't have to deal with it. So if you don't want to have to do Curse because it's an awful bow and it's just terrible in general, then you don't have to. Just play a ranked game and you only have to get 2 of them done. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into how to start this Easter egg. So in order to get started, what you're going to need to do is upgrade a single bow. If you don't know how to do that, there will be a link in the description below detailing how to upgrade every single one, but you only need to upgrade 1 bow. Now, once that is done, you're going to need to go back and get the original bow, that's right, the unupgraded version, and head on over to the teleporter. Now, what you're going to need to do here is you're going to need to take the unupgraded bow and shoot the little pylons that are blue. If you do this correctly, you'll notice that they turn a little bit orange, and if you do this right, you'll hear a little sound that ends up playing. It's similar to a little bit of a margwa, you know, kind of screeching at you. But anyway, once you have heard that, what you're going to need to do is hunt down these little blue sparks that are all around the map. And we're actually going to take a second here to detail where all of these locations are. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is that if you shoot these blue sparks with anything other than an upgraded bow, it will automatically fail. So if you shoot them with your bow and arrow, if you shoot them with a gun, if you shoot them with anything, I'm pretty sure even a grenade will work, then it will fail this and you'll have to wait till the next round. Also, you're under a little bit of a time limit. If you take too long to find 4 wisps along the map, then it will auto-fail you as well, and you will have to wait until the next round. Now, it's not too big of an issue because you do have plenty of time, and as few players as you have in the game, the more time you have. So with 1 player, you can pretty much circle the map like 5 times before you even run out of time. So you will have plenty of time. Do not worry. But anyway, here are all the locations that you can find for each of these little blue sparks. And once you hit 4 of them, you can go to the teleporter and head back to the past, which will be the next step. But first, let's go ahead and go over where all of these little spots are. So starting off, we're going to be inside the barracks, and you're going to see a clock above a locker. Now moving on towards the command room, you're going to have a little radio, and if you move forward a little bit, you're going to have a clock above the dragon. Keep in mind, these locations are going to be in a random order, but they're in set spots. Next, you're going to have a little phone inside of power room. Then you're going to head over to Samantha's room, and you're going to have the little globe that we showed off earlier. Next, heading over to the lightning arrow, and you're going to have a little box that you could end up hitting. Next, you're going to have the back of a car. You're going to need to hit the back wheel there. And then finally, you're going to have 1 more spot inside of spawn. Now, like I said, there are 4 different locations that these could end up being, and they are completely random in which order they are going to end up spawning in, or maybe not so random, I don't really know. Anyway, once you've hit 4 of them and you get the little successful sound, you're going to need to head back to the teleporter, and you're going to notice it's a little bit purple. Once you're inside the teleporter, rather than going to the rocket yard, you're actually going to go back to the past with Dr. Grove. You're going to need to pick up 2 things. 1, that big blue cylinder, and next you're going to take these tiny little sparks here. It's very important that you grab those because those are part of the next step. Anyway, once you have both of those items, you're going to need to watch Dr. Grove very carefully because he's going to put in a 3-icon code that you're going to need to fill out later. Something to keep in mind is that this code changes every time you teleport, not every round. There's been a little bit of a rumor that it changes every round. This is not true. Once you see it, you can put it in at any time. Just make sure you don't get it wrong. This code again, also changes game per game. So the code that you see here is not going to be the code that you're going to have to put in, but there are 4 different symbols, and he's going to pick 3 of them. He can also pick the same one. I've had it where it's just 3 of the same symbol. Anyway, once you have that code and you have those 2 items, you're going to need to go back to the death ray. Now, what you're going to need to do with the death ray is put in the little spark capacitors, whatever they're actually called, put them on the left side. Then go over to the right side and turn it to protect. Then you're going to want to turn on the death ray. You're going to want to do it in that order. Don't turn on the death ray first, because then you look like an idiot. Anyway, head on over to this computer here and put in whatever code that you saw Dr. Grove give you. Then, once that's done, you're going to head down to the safe in the present time. Not the past, the present time, and it will now be open. So you can grab those 2 things and the little chip. Now, what you're going to need to do with those is head back on up towards the death ray again. Now, once you're up here, what you're going to need to do is switch the death ray back to destroy, make sure it's not on protect, and in addition, what you're going to want to also do is put the 2 pylons in the little spots there that are missing. You'll have one on the right and one on the left. Once those are done, you're going to need to head to 2 different computers. One's going to be located on the rocket yard, and one will be the one that you use to put in the code for Dr. Grove's safe. Now, I recommend doing the rocket yard first, because if you fail either of these, you're going to have to do them both all over again. So you're going to want to start with rocket yard first, because if the rocket yard starts firing while you're doing Simon Says, then you're going to have a bad time. Anyway, the way Simon Says works is that it's going to give you 4 symbols in a random order, and then it's going to make the screens blank. You're going to have to remember which icon was where, and then give it the corresponding icon that it asks for. You'll have to do this about 8 times per computer, and again, if you get any of them wrong, it's no big deal. You just have to start over. You won't have to restart the round or anything like that, so that's kind of nice. Now, once you have done that at both the computers, the one at the rocket yard and at the one at Dr. Grove's computer, you're going to need to head on over to the death ray, and you'll know that you've done this correctly because you'll see both the little balls or Teslas glowing. Once you've done that, head to the back of the death ray and hit the green button. What that's going to do is shoot a rocket out of the air. I don't know how that works. I really don't. But anyway, once that's done, you're going to need to go to the courtyard, and you're going to need to pick up a nice golden little rod. And don't worry, I actually tried for science to see if this rocket could actually hit you. It just flies over your head, so don't worry. Anyway, so you're going to come over here and pick up this golden rod. And what you're going to want to do after you pick up this golden rod is you're going to want to head back to the past. Something to keep in mind is that you do not want to start the keeper phase right now, because you will not be able to finish it. You need an item that is located in the past. So anyway, progress the round to the next one and do the 4 sparks like you did last time. And I'll jump into the teleporter, and you're going to want to go to a little book that you're going to find inside the new teleport room. Dr. Grove will no longer be there, so you're going to have a little bit less time. But anyway, head on over to the right. You're going to see a book that you need to open. From there, you're going to open up a little briefcase, and it's going to have a stone tablet in it. Once you pick up that stone tablet, congratulations, you're done with going back in the past. You never have to chase the blue sparks anymore. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, once you actually have the stone tablet in hand and everything is good to go, you have the golden rod, go ahead and put the golden rod inside the little slot next to the tombstone. What this is going to do is spawn a keeper, and something to keep in mind is make sure you are ready before you actually start this step, because you will have infinite dogs spawning until you complete this step or you die. So it can be a little annoying to deal with. Anyway, the keeper is going to go to 4 different locations all around the map. These locations are the same every time, but he'll do them in a different order. Once you get to this circle, more players that are standing in it, the larger the circle will be, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. Now, the person who's going to need to get the kills inside of these is going to be based on the color that you see on the screen. If it's a red glow, then obviously you're going to need to use the lava bow. If it's a light blue, you're going to need to use lightning. If it's cyan, you're going to have to use wolf. And if it's purple, you're going to need to use soul bow. So those are the 4 different colors, and once you get to the one that's outside the main gate, this little spot is going to be empty. You're going to need to make sure that you put the stone tablet there by just simply interacting with it, and then getting your kills as normal. It takes about 30-ish kills in order to fill him up, and you'll notice that he also sort of completes at the end of a round. We're not entirely sure why that is, but after you complete a round, he just kind of finishes off here. And we're kind of speeding this up just that way I can show you where all the spots are by walking to them, and, you know, it won't be too much of an issue. Now, once you have all of that done, you are basically prepared for the final step of this Easter egg. What you're going to need to do is head back to the pyramid. You'll get a little cutscene, and then eventually you'll see this big pyramid come out of, you know, out of the space. What you're going to need to do is put the little blue cylinder in the missing slot, and you'll see the keeper open himself up. Now, this is the final step. Make sure you are ready with everything that you need. Get all of your perks, get all of your guns, and make sure that at least one person has monkey bombs, because it makes the fight a lot easier. You don't need them, but it makes the fight significantly easier. Now, what you're going to need to do in order to start this fight is everyone's going to have to grab their DG4s and then go to each of the different spots and place down your DG4s on the blue circles. Once all 4 players have done this, you will begin the boss fight with the Keeper. I didn't tell you how to get to the DG4. One moment. Now, in order to build the DG4, you're going to need 3 different pieces. Now, you see this lever here that is located at the back of Rocket Yard. This is part of the first step. What you're going to need to do is wait until the rocket is firing. Once it is, that lever will turn green and you'll be able to interact with it. Now, once you've done that, you're going to need to head inside the bunker and fight off a horde of zombies. After a little bit of time and after the rocket is done firing, it'll say test complete, and you'll have another lever to your right that you're going to need to pull. Once you've done that, the piece will show up inside of the teleporter itself, and you'll be able to have one additional piece towards building this. Now, the next piece you're going to need is actually going to involve the death ray. And what you're going to need to do is run around this death ray, and a piece will appear above one of the pylons or behind the jump pad that you're going to need to use and grab it inside of the air. As you see here, as the death ray pops out, there's the DG4 piece, and you'll just use a jump pad to grab it. Now, for the last piece, you're just going to need to kill a panzer, which I'm not going to bother showing you that because you fight like 5 panzers between now and the end. You'll find one, trust me. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over how to do this boss fight with the Keeper. Now, something to keep in mind for this Keeper fight is to always remain calm. If you panic, you're going to probably make a mistake, and if someone goes down, it just ends up becoming a snowball failure. So once you get into the fight, the first thing you want to do is slowly go around in a counterclockwise or clockwise position together. The reason you want to do this is because the zombies are going to spawn constantly no matter what you do. However, there is a maximum limit that can spawn, so if you just run counterclockwise, eventually you won't actually have to kill anything. Just kill whatever ends up spawning in front of you, and you'll be fine. Now, something you're going to keep an eye out is for that little blue circle that actually appears in the middle of the room. What happens when you do that is he's going to launch a powerful lightning strike. That powerful lightning strike will kill you if you are not standing behind a pillar. However, you can stop this attack by putting your DG4 directly beneath him in the middle of the circle. If you put it slightly to the side, it won't stun him, so make sure it is directly in the center of the middle. Yes, I'm saying that because we had an issue with it. Anyway, once you've done that, you'll stun him and you'll be able to hit him with whatever attack you feel necessary. Use your most powerful guns in order to hit him. Spamming your bow is more effective than charge shots for doing this. Once you've done that, you're going to spawn a whole bunch of panzers. You're going to need to take out all of these panzers before you can start the next fight. Now, something to keep in mind here is that you are going to have plenty of maximum ammos. You're going to have like 3 of them to deal with 7 panzers, so unload with whatever you have. If you have monkeys, throw them so that way you don't have to deal with them, and just deal with the panzers as quickly as possible. I personally save death machines for the panzers because that is the deadliest part of the fight. But again, just keep calm and you should succeed no problem. Now, once you've dealt with all the panzers, it's back to phase 1 again. Just group up, go counterclockwise. The only difference now is that occasionally you will have dogs that now spawn. So just kill the dogs as they appear in front of you and just keep going around the circle. And once the little blue spark shows up again, throw your DG4 down below him, get up in front of him, throw a monkey bomb, and just keep shooting him in the chest. I wouldn't recommend using a haymaker because it doesn't seem to be very good against him, but ray guns have been known to be able to kill him in one phase pretty easily. So ray guns, death machines, and spamming of your arrows is really effective. Now, once you've dealt enough damage to stun him again, he's going to spawn another max ammo and another wave of panzers. This wave of panzers is exactly the same as the last one, except there may be like 1 or 2 extras this time around. But either way, not that difficult. If you want to use death machines, I'd highly recommend it because as you can see, it tears up the panzers really fast and you don't really have to deal with them too much. If you don't have death machines, I highly recommend a haymaker or using arrow spam. Ray guns don't seem to do that much to them. I wouldn't recommend it. But other than that, just shoot them with whatever you got. Keep going counterclockwise and just try not to get down. Focus on your own survivability rather than trying to kill the panzers, because if you go down, you're going to make everyone's life a living hell. Anyway, once you've killed all the panzers, it's now time for the final phase. This phase is exactly the same as phase 1 and phase 2, except now, in addition to the zombies and the dogs, you will have a guaranteed panzer spawn that will happen every single time you stun him. So you're going to need to manage your resources as well as you can. If you run out of monkey bombs, it's going to be a little bit of an issue. So once this panzer drops down from the sky, you're going to want to throw a monkey bomb and deal with him as quickly as possible. This is where having haymakers comes in handy. As you can see, it killed him basically instantly. Now, once you've killed the panzer, a few seconds later, he's going to do the little lightning strike in the middle of the room. You're going to want to go ahead and put down your DG4 and just deal with him like that. Now, something to keep in mind is that it appears that he has more health in this final third phase than the first and second, so don't be discouraged if you can't kill him in one go. You can do it, but it can be a little difficult, so just throw as much damage into his chest as you possibly can, and then do the same thing again. You won't have to deal with another wave of panzers, but you're going to have to deal with the dogs, the zombies, and the guaranteed 1 panzer spawn. After this, you will win the fight. If you manage to finish off the boss either there or on the next one, you will have finished off the fight and you will win. Congratulations, you beat the Keeper boss. He's really not that difficult once you get used to him and know exactly what it is you need to do. Now, one thing that I would recommend doing is bringing Phoenix up, because as you can see, it's very helpful. Also, the reason I got downed was I stood underneath him. Do not stand underneath the boss for any reason, because for whatever reason, it put the dot on you that downs you very fast, even with Juggernog. So do not stand underneath the boss. It's very bad. The other attacks that he does really aren't that big of an issue. The lightning strike is really the only thing that's going to down you. Now, I'm getting behind the pillar just as a safety precaution, just in case, but we got him stunned, and now we go ahead and finish him off. And that is going to be the end of the Easter egg, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and let the rest of this all play out. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will catch you all in the next one, everybody. Later.
It is now beyond doubt that your actions pose a threat to the work of Group 935. Your treachery leaves me no option but to take steps to ensure your termination. Even if it means the destruction of the castle itself.
If Richtofen believes this key is necessary for success, then we must use it.
Only the summoning key can disable the cryo chamber containment field. But first, it needs a little more energy.
From their bones. Launch protocol initiated. 30 seconds to impact. You're reading multiple rocket launches. What have you done? You are a fool, Richtofen! Even the destruction of this facility and my own death will not prevent the advancement of our cause. You have stopped nothing!
Once I thought us fools to dare change history, but now I am not so sure.
The road is long and dark, but I know where we are going. He's still alive.
I fucking hope so.
This subject will one day wreak havoc across the entire universe. He cannot be allowed to live.
This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We were supposed to secure the package and be in and out clean. Instead, the whole thing's been one disaster after another. I should never have trusted you, Richtofen. Never!
You should trust me, Dempsey. You all should. This artifact has the power to contain and preserve the subject's soul. Your soul. But it can only be done after the moment of death. Just as you saw me do to my other self. It is the only way.
Wait! If someone's gotta take him out to save the universe, then it should be me that does it. Good to see you, Tank.
Fucking A, it's finally done.
Oh my god. Finally.
Finally! Okay, I lied. There was one more step. You take the little circle out, you put it inside the Simon Says, and you're done. But anyway, that was the Easter egg, everybody. Really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry this one's a little bit late, but hopefully I won't be as late, and I'll actually be able to post a few more videos with the next DLC. It's been said that it'll be somewhere around April 5th for the release date, so I'll be posting a lot more videos leading up to that, and I'll be, cataloging all the things that we already know. Yeah, I know people are going to say, I've already seen that, but I'm just kind of, setting up a base and letting you all know that, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more serious about getting videos out on time when this DLC hits because, well, now that I've played it a lot more, I definitely do enjoy this, and hey, you all enjoy it as well. At least I think I do, because, I mean, couple thousand people watch, but hey, that's everything. All right, bye.